Hmm.
The Team B. He got the idea from the conversation that he had with number 26.
There we go.
The plan was to intercept their radio using wavelength. Thanks to the wavelength that he emitted, B3's radio was static, causing B3 to fall behind others to fix the equipment. Then Amorph neutralized them with neurotoxin, a newly fused characteristic. It was just downhill from there, so he got to feast. His next target was Team A. He used his super sense. They are portraying Morph's back as being ripped open. Then his wings appeared. He flew directly towards Arnold. His mouth is almost at Arnold's face. Arnold clearly saw the sharp teeth, and just like that, Arnold's head was gone and blood gushed out from his body. The headless body fell to the ground. It dropped the plasma gun. The body just laid there in the pool of blood. The monster stepped on the blood. A soldier pointed the gun on a silhouette of a monster. He was surprised when something appeared on his side. He was taken aback at what he saw. Arnold's bloodied face was carried by the monster's mouth, and it was placed right on the soldier's face. The monster walked past him. He was too scared to move. The monster climbed up the vent. Amorph wished he could enjoy his meal, but he doesn't have time since his gut is warning him to leave. The captain was furious. He asked the soldiers why it took them some time to arrive. The soldiers could only apologize. The captain cursed and instructed them to clean up the place. The captain was informed that all casualties had been accounted for. That person is the temporary medical department leader. The captain asked if there were any survivors. The temporary medical department leader replied that everyone is dead except for the head of the research department. He was surprised when he found out that the senior researcher is still alive. The temporary medical department leader replied that the man is in the recovery room. It was fortunate for that man to be immune to the monster's neurotoxin, but he lost his sense of sight, smell, and taste permanently. Even if the man lives, he will require support for the rest of his life. The temporary medical department leader suggested that they should just surrender to the space dogs. That made the captain angry. He told the man that he's so selfish. Then, he walked away. The man chased after him, but the captain had had enough of his nonsense. The captain thought about the number of men they lost. The leaders from the research, technical, medical, navigation, and crisis management teams. And the head cook are all dead. He knew that they're never going to survive the battle with the pirates that way. He thought of abandoning everything and running away. A soldier noticed something. The gun looks different compared to the rest. He uttered that it looked like one of the leader's weapons. That caught the captain's attention. He asked the gun to be brought to him. The soldier gave it to him. He inspected and saw that there's 60% left. It's slightly cracked, but it could still be used for self-defense. Now the captain couldn't trust anyone to protect him but himself. He counted the problems. The monster is still on board, and they'll be encountering the pirates in 2 days. He sighed as he wondered what he should do. Amorph had eliminated most of the leaders. He knew that it's going to take some time for the AI to report the problem. He doesn't think that he needs to worry about Captain Yusung. He decided to expand his nest. There are their spots that he could choose from. Since he had the nest in the cooling chamber, he can choose 2 more places. The most important place is the cafeteria, since food is key to survival. He planned to contaminate the food and cut off the supplies. Next is the armory. That's where the plasma launcher is being kept. Amorph needs to do something about it before the enemy uses it to kill him. Lastly, the lab. There are various DNA samples and psionium, but the problem is that he had less than a 10% chance of gaining a property from the samples. With just psionium alone, he'll be able to have the power of a juvenile stage Amorph. Then he'll be prepared for pirates and other possible enemies. Amorph had made up his mind. He'll create the nest in the cafeteria and the lab, and he decided to steal the plasma launcher. He thought of using the weapon, but he kept thinking about what Arnold said. That his master, Si Hyun Yujin, or whoever that is, might team up with the pirates, or disguise himself as one of them. To Amorph, there's nothing scarier than an unknown enemy. He needs to gather everything that he can use. Number 26 greeted him. He felt that number 26 was in a good mood. He assumed that it was because they didn't inject him with any experiments for that day. He asked number 26 if he's feeling good. Number 26 replied that there's no pain. Amorph realized that it would be unlikely for them to run experiments in a situation like that. He assumed that they must all be hiding in their rooms. He thought of making a bold move. The red security light had lit up. Number 26 asked Amorph what he's doing. He replied that he's waiting. It's been about 30 minutes and no one is showing up, and that confirms Amorph's thoughts. He doesn't need to sneak around anymore. He removed the cover of the vent. He greeted number 26 that it has been a long time since they met. Amorph noticed that its color looks good and healthy, but he knew that it would starve to death if it stayed there. He wondered if he should bring number 26 with him. A bubble amoeba isn't really picky with food. It's also immune to neurotoxins, so there's no problem keeping it in his nest, or he can take it along with him wherever he goes. He asked if he wanted to get out. Number 26 asked where. He replied that it would be out of the lab. Number 26 enthusiastically replied yes. Amorph reminded it to be careful. Then he charged right into its capsule. And then he shattered the glass and grabbed number 26. Number 26 jumped around while thanking Amorph. He said number 26 to hang on. Number 26 asked what he's doing. He replied that he's making a nest. Then he spat out acid from his mouth. He covered the whole area with it. The acid was like vines that covered the entire lab. Because of that, humans won't be able to use the lab now. He realized he overdid it when he got hungry. He grabbed the brain. He noticed that it's still alive, but it doesn't taste good. But he settled for that now since he's getting nutrients instead of savoring the flavor. Number 26 ate with him. Amorph noticed that number 26 was enjoying the food. But then Amorph sensed something. There's something coming. One of them is a soldier, and the other one is a researcher. There were only two of them when not even a whole unit could fight Amorph. The door opened. The men were surprised at what they saw. The whole area is covered with vine-like acid. The soldier took a closer look. He didn't realize that the monster was behind him. Eventually, he sensed it, so he raised his gun. He fires away as the monster approaches him. He saw the monster's hand getting closer to the body, and he was stabbed right in the heart. He coughed up blood while tears streamed down his face. Eventually, his body flopped on the ground. The monster made its way to the researcher, and the man ran out of mercy. The monster grabbed the monster, but Amorph got distracted when number 26 yelled, "Pain!" Number 26 hopped to Amorph's shoulder, and it looked like it's complaining. Amorph understood that the researcher was part of the bubble amoeba experiment, and number 26 must have been angry seeing its torture. Amorph had forgotten that bubble amoeba could kill people too. He stabbed the man with the spear, causing the man to be paralyzed. Then he hands out number 26 to the man. Number 26 jumped to the man's face and was ready to devour it. And it actually did. It covered the man's face and melted it. While watching it, Amorph wondered who it was. If it's the soldier who died instantly, or the researcher who died slowly with his head melting away. He didn't think much about it since they all died anyway. So, the process didn't matter that much. While he was feasting on the brain, the system window appeared. He felt lucky. He had reached his goal faster than he expected. He was asked if he would like to unlock physical strengthening. He had eaten over 500 different samples, but gained only 3 characteristics, but he's satisfied with what he had acquired. He took number 26 while thinking of heading back to unlock the skill. He said number 26 that it won't take long. He accepted the skill, and his body made loud cracking noises. His legs become larger. Spikes had appeared on his back. Number 26 was impressed by how big he had gotten. Number 26 bounced his way towards him while telling him that he had gotten so big. Amorph told him that he had grown. Number 26 didn't understand what the word meant. Amorph replied that he had grown from a youngling to an adult. Number 26 asked if youngling is a baby. Then he called Amorph a big baby. But when Amorph thought about it biologically, he's not fully mature, so it isn't entirely wrong. He decided to explain it when number 26 learned how to speak more properly. Amorph noticed that his body feels heavier and sturdier. He felt like a cheetah turned into into a rhino. He had become taller, too, and his arms and legs are covered in armor. His legs have acquired strength enhancement and have become much thicker. He checked his characteristics. He now has natural recovery, blade tentacles, and contaminant organs. Natural recovery has been fused with strong vitality and turned into regenerative power. Everything on his stats looked good except for the type penalty. Amorph has no limit to the type it can acquire, but every time it acquires a type, the requirement to obtain a new type doubles. For example, if Amorph had obtained superpower strengthening type first, then the number of the requirements for the physical strengthening type will go from 10 to 20. If it was a game, he'd reconsider the timing of obtaining the type. But he doesn't have a choice with the danger coming ahead. He decided to postpone unlocking the next type. It was time to test his newly obtained characteristics. The durability of the blade tentacles was too weak. He stabbed a pillar, and he realized that it has been upgraded and strengthened by the physical strengthening type. Next, he tried out the contaminant. He released acid from the ocean. He can apply some of the characteristics, and he can even create spores that pour out acidity. He'll be able to turn the whole system into a fort. It's the perfect skill to use when fighting a fierce opponent. Now that he had checked everything, he decided to get going. Number 26 called him baby and asked where he's going. He replied that he's off to the hangar. Amorph was interested to know how the crew will react if they see him now. He imagined them crying and maybe running away. He'll find out soon. The humans ran as fast as they could. They had to hurry because the door couldn't wait any longer. When they had entered, the door should have been immediately closed. But it didn't happen because the man in charge was too terrified to make a move. The man got angry and kicked the cowering soldier moving aside. He hurriedly pulled the lever. The door was slowly closing. But the monster's hands were able to hold it on the remaining gap. Then Amorph pushed it open. He was growling. The men shriek in fear. They all screamed for help. But there was no salvation for them. The monster immediately killed them all. Their bloodied hands left a print on the window. Amorph kept chewing. The sound echoed through the ship. Meanwhile, in another room, Dr. Wade's brows twitched. He's inside a capsule in the recovery room. He looked hideous because his half-face doesn't have any skin. The muscle is seen and his other eyes are shut. He also had bruises all over his body. He wondered what's going on because he couldn't hear anything. His hands trembled. He couldn't believe what's happening. He's too big. And he wonders what he did to deserve that. He would rather die than live that way. He heard a loud thud. He wondered if it's a soldier. He opened his eyes and the eye socket was empty. The footsteps were familiar. He knew that it was the monster, and it came for him. The monster pressed a button. He wondered what it was doing. Then he felt something twitching in his head. Instantly, number 26 devoured his head. As his head melted, he felt like it was burning. He couldn't speak, but his mind screamed for somebody to just kill this man until he's choking with his own blood. 3 hours later, number 26 crawled out of the capsule. Amorph asked him if he's done eating, and number 26 replied yes. Amorph asked how he feels about his revenge, but number 26 didn't know what that word meant. Amorph explained that it's about eating the person who tortured him, and number 26 replied that it tastes good. Amorph realized that number 26 doesn't feel complex emotions like vengeance, but he's not sure if it just hadn't been learned yet, or if researchers are interested in number 26. He hoped that the bubble amoeba wouldn't develop or something. The demon lives only on seaplaners like bubble amoeba. It's about 25 meters long and has tentacles that are hidden inside its body. Because of their similar looks in the game, users suspected demon and bubble amoeba had something in common. But it just turned out that the game company didn't put much effort into character design. But this time, it's their reality. So, no one could really tell the creature. Number 26 called the Amorph baby and told him that it's full. Amorph noticed that it looked tired. He walked back into the nest. So far, it's coming along fine. Then he had decided what to look for his next prey. At C08, Space Dog's Drava cartel. Someone is yelling for help. A man grabs an arm. A woman is being dragged away by a man and a green male alien. The woman calls for her husband to help her. Her blonde husband demanded that she would be let go. But the man was shot on his back. The woman yelled loudly. The rest of the pirates took the treasure. The pirates were instructed to take everything and kill all men and capture all women. That is the creed of the Drava cartel. A creature with a mechanical eye looked bored. This creature looked like a lion with a mechanical eye and arm. He was unhappy with the low quantity of treasure. This lion creature was addressed as boss. He was accused of betrayal. The humans hired the mercenaries for protection, so they couldn't believe they did that. The boss replied that the man was a fool for thinking that they are friends. The boss told him that he shouldn't have expected that from a complete stranger. The man cursed at the boss. The man threatened them by saying that the defense forces would be on their way after receiving their distress signal, and the boss and his subordinates will all be executed. But the boss didn't care. The man continued to say that death was good for bad like them. He vowed to turn them all into Hulk mutants. That elicited a reaction from the boss. His subordinate was terrified to offer him his hand. He told the captain that it looked like he's not familiar with the Megacob mercenaries. The boss decided to explain it. He grabbed the head of the captain. He stated that it's a crime for a mercenary to betray during a commission, but it is valid if there's no witness to prove it. He crushed the hope of the captain by saying that the defense guard won't be of any help as no one would be around to explain what happened. The captain asked if he's planning to return. The boss replied that he's not sure what that word meant, but he's certain of one thing. And he shared that his hobby is to skill Megacob pigs. The scene was horrific, as the blood splattered while the man loudly yelled. Later on, the boss opened the door. He was warmly greeted by his subordinate. He threw the skinned face on the ground and commanded his subordinate to take it and deal with it like usual. The boss remembered that they had something to do. His subordinate was confused. Instead of reminding the guy, he just instructed it to go get a manual. Deep inside, the boss was annoyed for being surrounded by idiots. His subordinate informed him that he was going to run. She looked like a researcher with a white lab coat. She nervously asked the boss what he needed. The boss asked about the work that needed to be done. She fidgets while finding the courage to answer. Then she explained that they are supposed to meet someone whom her connection introduced her to, but they suddenly went off the grid. The boss yelled, and the woman shrieked. He asked her to explain. She elaborated that a request came in from a research team led by Captain Duhhlion Samuel. They asked them to get rid of the body. The boss asked if the Samuels were there. The woman inquired if the boss knows them. The boss replied that they are the third capital. He asked on whose body. She replied that it was a noble capital, a woman from the Duhhlion family. She added that those men promised to pay them 1,000,000 credits. The boss scoffed at it. He thought that those bastards must be hiding something. He felt that lately, things within Megacob haven't been quite right. Rumors say that the Asserton family, the young blood of Mars, is challenging the Duhhlion, who has been the king of Earth for the longest time. The Assertons mainly focus on developing vessels, but they have been secretly working on DNA modification. The boss knew that a body from the Duhhlion family could have all sorts of DNA modifications. He entertained the idea of stealing their body and handing it to Assertons. The Assertons would have been willing to let him in to fight for such a body. He grinned and thought that it was an opportunity. They loved him, but the part of him was Hulk mutants. He understands that a grudge is a grudge, business is business. He remembered the rule saying that the ship couldn't be reached. He asked if they were ambushed. The girl was afraid about it. The boss is annoyed that someone is lurking in the room. He doesn't know who that is, but he knows that one has died. The boss decided that as soon as they had finished their business there, they would head for Duhhlion. He instructed his crew to prepare to attack. His men were all fired up. He instructed them to blow up the vessel and to ensure not to leave any evidence behind. Their ship made loud noise as it charged up. Then it flew real fast as soon as the adjacent ship blew up. Their speed made them look like a shooting star. The bomb started beeping on the other ship. The explosion was huge. Meanwhile, even within his nest, he senses someone. He placed his hand on the ground and created a link. His senses flowed through the tube. It was like a dark vine connected to him. Because of that, he figured out that the pirates are drilling through the research vessel's outer hull for forced docking from the outside. He saw the mark of his face on it. Their drilling is almost over. In no time, a Morph senses. It is evident that they're experts and really know what they're doing. But he wondered if they were really smart or stupid. Because normally, people would notice that there's something wrong with the research ship. But maybe those men were just blind. The men were surprised at what they saw. The whole area is covered with vine and somewhat acidic. They reported to the boss that they had taken over the bridge, but something was strange. The boss asked what it was. They reported that there's not a single soul on the ship, and that there's creepy-looking trees all around them. The boss was angry, because it sounds ridiculous to have trees in space. They insisted that they were telling the truth. The boss decided to see it for himself. He threatened them that if they're lying, he's going to smash their head. Amorph sensed that they have 2 high-powered engineered hearts and machinery. He also figured out that the Hulk mutant is their leader. He checked on others. There's an insect man that releases pheromones from its body. A Star Union cyborg with a mechanical heart instead of a real one. He was pleased with the multi-species cartel. Since he's having a hard time finding and killing 22 different species aside from humans, it's easier to achieve the evolutionary conditions to become juvenile. But then he noticed something. There was an ordinary person with them. It's as if the computer inside this woman's head instead of a brain is making her seem normal. A Morph made sure to keep an eye on her. Number 26 asked where he's going. He told him that he will be out, but he advised number 26 to stay in the nest because it's dangerous. He pointed at the plasma gun and requested number 26 to keep it safe for him. He told him that it's important. Number 26 happily obliged. A Morph took his chance while the enemy's guards were down. He planned to cut off the path to retreat by destroying the power source of their ship. He expected them to protect both the research ship and their own ship, since they are greedy. He had perceived them dividing their forces into looting and defense groups, and while they start dividing into groups, that's when Amorph plans to take the fight. He always does. Amorph slipped through the door. Then he spread the door open. He made his way inside. It's as if the place doesn't have any security systems at all. But it's not surprising since they're pirates. The pirates must have never thought for a second that they would be the ones getting robbed. He found the nuclear reactor, and it's not far from where he was. He used his super sense to scout his surroundings, and everything's looking good except for those android security robots. They'll alert the central AI system if there's an attack. He wondered how he'll get past them without getting caught. He noticed something, and it made his mouth. He decided to go eat something first. He rushed through the hallway, but he abruptly stopped when he noticed people passing through. It was a human and an insect. He decided to deal with them there. He sneaked on the side of the human. The human was confused when he saw something swinging on his face. But he no longer has time to react because in the next second, his head was cut off. The insect was surprised at what he saw. He pressed on the radio, but the tentacles grabbed his neck. Then his hand was cut off. It fell to the ground together with his bone. Blood gushed out of his arm. Then he was tackled by the Amorph. Amorph grabbed all his limbs. He tried to ask for help. But at the next moment, his head was ripped from the body. Amorph munched on them. As what he's expecting, the NPC species doesn't help resolve the evolution. Someone can be hurt to the control team is asked him what's going on. Amorph says nothing. The guy on the other line was not able to attack. He was told to flip flat. Amorph pushed open another door. He doesn't see any value fighting the enemy. He looked around the area. He sprayed his acid all over the room, and when it dissolved the ground, the nuclear power was revealed, just as he thought. A human would have noticed it right away, but he's dealing with androids. It's not there was a loud banging noise followed by the control room request for a backup, since it was reported that the monster was trying to break down the door. The guys in the control room realized that there's not enough men to be sent to help them. One guy asked about the captain and the team leader. The man replied that the team leader is dead. All of them were in a state of franticness as their doom awaits them. They were informed that the monster was breaking the door, and they were instructed to prepare for battle. They expressed how they didn't want to die. Meanwhile, the pirates' jaws dropped. They were watching the events that happened on the ship earlier. The boss wondered, what's noticed that there were weird plants and no sign of people. It was like a ghost ship. They wanted to find out more about the attacker, so he had his man replayed the footage. But what they saw were several men without limbs, or with limbs, but had already lost their minds. Not a single person on the ship was in proper condition, so it made the boss even more curious as to what the people fought with. He instructed his men to play more videos in the past. They watched the crisis management team leader instruct B3 to join as soon as his transmission is fixed. The boss realized that it was the person in charge of defending the ship. He also recognized He noticed that all the manpower was down, and the top management was shaken. What he saw next surprised him. The monster attacking from above, and hiding behind the expensive devices, and strategically using the fire extinguisher. The boss knew that it was an intelligent creature. Because of that, it's also a highly dangerous one. He watched how the monster attacked Arnold. At first, the boss was worried about how he would but now, he knew that he should worry about retrieving the He called out loudly, and that surprised her. The boss clarified what she said earlier, that she lost contact yesterday. She replied that the initial plan was to meet yesterday, but the vessel didn't arrive, so they had to search for it the whole day. The boss had figured out the details. The problem is, they don't know what that creature is. Silence. He assumed that the creature didn't know that they had arrived. To find that creature first, kill it. Then the body. His subordinate reported that they have a problem. He asked what it was. The man reported that their ship's engine was broken down. The boss was fast. He angrily yelled that it can't be when it's so fun. But then the man reported that the engine was completely melted down, so it's impossible to fix. The boss slammed the table and cursed loudly. He punched the table as he was trying to rip that creature. The desk crumbled. Using his loud voice, he called Manol. He asked her if she could run the ship. She replied that she has to check. The angry boss threw something past her and it exploded. Her fear drove her to say that she can do it. He assigned 3 men to help her out while the rest of them would go with her. He instructed them to move quickly, otherwise if they got behind, he'd bash their heads. Meanwhile, our MC used his super sense. Knowing that the boss was angry made him laugh. Unbeknownst to them, there are still survivors on the ship. There are 20 of them hiding in there, including the captain and the upper management. Seymour didn't spare them out of mercy. He knew a fight would break out since Megatron hates pirates. He plans to take advantage of that fight. Currently, there are 3 pirates who pretend to be normal in the control room. This will be a more why Arnold says that he and the woman are similar when the woman looked like a genetically modified human. But considering that the woman is a noble captain of Megacon, who is obsessed with extending life, it's very likely that she's been modified beyond the extent of Kisaragi. If the woman is modified to the extent of a player, she may be hard to defeat, even if it's been a while since he fought with a genetically modified human. Seeing such a strong opponent both scares and excites him at the same time. But for now, he had decided to keep that woman, who he's guessing to be Duhhlion. Now, he's focused on dealing with the pirates first. The pirates were scared as they heard the grinding of the teeth. The boss was angry. He exuded a terrifying aura. Their radio made a beeping sound. The man called out to his boss. He reported that the biological detector had detected humans. The boss replied, "So?" The man replied that it was pointing towards the captain's cabin, but the path was blocked, so he suggested drilling a hole nearby. He flinched when the captain yelled and called him a fucking moron. The captain asked the man if he asked permission if he needed to eat. He immediately went to work. They drilled a hole, he kicked it open. He glanced at the detector. In a blink of an eye, he was shot on the face. The firing continued, so the rest had to take cover. The captain told the idiots to move. He rushed head-on. He slammed his weapon on the human's face. Then he punched the next. He was going wild. The humans exclaimed that there's a monster. It was a bloody scene. A few moments later, a man groaned pitifully. Eventually, his bones were broken, and he died. The researcher shrieked at the blood gushing out. He panics as the boss approaches him. He told the boss that he surrendered, but the boss replied that their cartel doesn't care about surrender. The man introduced himself as the medical team leader of the ship, and he told them that he would be of use to them. That caught the boss's attention. The boss asked where the captain was, and why the doctor was in the captain's cabin. That triggered the doctor, but he immediately composed himself. He feared that the captain left to escape the ship. The boss verified that the captain got away safely. Internally, the boss complains that the whole thing sucks. The ship was wrecked, and the only human who knows about the body is on an escape ship. But he thought that the doctor might know. He asked the guy if he knew where the body was. He asked where he was the body. The doctor replied that the monster Hearing that, the boss realized that he doesn't have enough time left. He instructed his men to spread out and find the monster. The men to report his missing body. The boss glanced at the doctor and recalled that the doctor was and it just so happens that they are in need of a doctor too. The boss asked if the doctor had any knowledge of genetic remodeling. The doctor nervously replied yes. He told the captain that he could trust him. Amorph watched them through his super sense. Amorph was disappointed that the boss ended the game quickly. But it wasn't surprising since the leader was a Hulk mutant. He noticed that the pirates moved like a regular army. He decided to get moving too. Number 26 wanted to come with him, but he told him to stay inside. But number 26 insisted that he'll help. Deep inside, Amorph noticed that it's acting like a child who wants to help his father. He realized that number 26 must also need battle experience. Even if it can't be of much help to him, he can't let it get away. He picked him up. He advised them to be careful. Number 26 responded that Amorph should be careful too. Thought it was mucus. One pirate complained how disgusting it is, especially given that it's sprayed on his upper body. Another pirate was about to say something, but he stopped. He noticed his sword melting. Then the man who was sprayed with the fluid earlier yelled loudly. His face started melting and it looked hideous. It made the rest of them sneeze. They heard stomping sounds. The pirate was stabbed right on the chest. The yell of the monster was there. They commented that it was different from what they saw. 3 pirates fired at it. But it had no effect on the monster. The monster charged them. His bodies were sliced. The insect man was about to escape. But to his surprise, the bubble of meat his body trembled from the Suddenly, Amorph heard someone asking for help. There was a guy on the phone reporting that the monster was there. Before he could ask for backup, his skull was already bitten, and Amorph continuously chewed on it. It could be heard from the radio that the person on the other side is asking where they are. Amorph picked up the radio and replied that it was nothing. The man on the other side got angry. He reprimanded him, and Amorph just apologized. Amorph decided to keep the radio to be a useful distraction. He noticed that the guy was still breathing despite his body melting away. He wondered if it's because he's a cyborg or Star Union. In contrast to Megacob, who improved and modified genes, Star Union replaced weak human bodies with machines. The problem is that they force their beliefs onto other species as well. Any species they take hostage will be modified regardless of their will. Megacob and Star Union are both crazy. Amorph ate the machine. He was worried about it for a bit, but then he assumed it would be okay even if he ate it. He finds the taste interesting. There was a strong, coppery taste of oil. Out of the blue, the window screen appeared. Just like in the game, the cyborgs are treated as a separate species. The window screen displayed that he had met the conditions to evolve from a youngling to a juvenile. It was an unexpected surprise. He recalled that there were 12 cyborg pirates on the ship. He can evolve to the next stage right away if he eats them all. Number 26 asked what he's excited about. He replied that it's something number 26 wouldn't know. Some may call the space dogs the disaster of space, but to a morph, they're like Santa bringing presents on Christmas. A golem man fired away. A morph grabbed the man's face, and he ripped off the head. He watched his face, while blood gushed out from the body. A morph took down 2 teams already, but he lost 3 cyborgs. He noticed that the recent man looked like the one that was covered in acid in the armory. Everything melted but the legs. He decided to rip the leg to eat it. He took a bite. He spat it out. He also didn't get any predation effects. There was a low chance of that happening with the body. His tail swung. He stabbed the man that number 26 was eating. Number 26 asked if he's angry. He explained that he had to kill anything that looked like that. He pointed at something else and informed number 26. He felt bad because he had no choice. He heard voices from the man's arm. Those who are still alive were requested to report back. One team reported that there's a lot to take in the cargo compartment, while the other team reported that the restaurant is messy since everything has gone bad.
Shut down.
Amorph mimicked the guy and reported that he's currently searching the cargo. The control room asked the one in the lab to answer.
Has destroyed
Amorph ate a man, so his voice changed. Then he replied that the lab is clear. The control room was confused, since it isn't the one in charge of the radio. He explained that the man in charge was just getting ready to clear out. The control room accepted that explanation.
your
Those guys are pretty systematic for pirates. The boss decided to make time. Putting those thoughts aside, he couldn't believe he was hanging out with Bubble Amoeba. The game community would freak out when they saw that. The Amorph itself is specialized for acting alone, but himself, in reality, wasn't the friendly type. Things are getting different from what he used to know about the game. It makes him nervous, but excited at the same time. The boss sensed that something was fishy. He's pretty strict about reporting duties because of his military background. So someone who knows what happens if he breaks the rule would not make such a mistake. His wild instincts in his genes are warning him that it's a trap. The boss told the guys that something is off about the guys in the lab. He instructed everyone to head to the lab. The boss asked the doctor the whereabouts of the escape ship and the engine room of the vessel. The doctor showed him the way. The boss is fuming inside because he didn't like anyone touching his warship. He planned to figure out an escape route and put a bomb in the engine room. He expected the engine to be nuclear infused, so having a small bomb is fine. After he gets out safely, he'll blow up the bomb remotely, and the monster will blow up with the vessel. He knows that his men on the ship will also die, but he's confident that there are a lot of creatures out there that want to be a pirate. He'll just take Manol and the doctor. He called the doctor. He asked him if he knew about the monster's weakness. The doctor replied no, and that made the boss angry. The pirate threatened him to answer properly, but the doctor insisted that he's telling the truth. The boss knew that the doctor was a coward, but for him to say so little, it just meant that the doctor is more afraid of the monster than him. The boss asked about the characteristics of the monster, to which the doctor described the monster who moves like a ghost. The doctor elaborated that the monster eats humans in the blink of an eye, and it doesn't leave a single piece of body behind. They didn't even notice, even if anyone was gone, until much later. The boss told them that it could be because they're just idiots. The doctor defended that there are numerous security systems on the ship, so many that they could hardly count. But he added that the monster was still able to avoid it all and kill people. That's why he described it as a ghost. Internally, the boss finds it ridiculous, but it also seems like the doctor is telling the truth. He decided to round up his men. He told them that there were changes in their plan. He gathers them before they come to the lab. Amorph commented that the boss was a clever guy. He didn't fall for Amorph's imitation, which even fooled humans. It could be the wild instincts of a Hulk mutant, but it was too late now. Amorph used his super sense. The pirates are complaining, but they are heading to the location. Amorph planned to attack them with a new plan this time. His tentacles merged with the vines. He just created nest maneuver. His cognitive abilities expand through those branches. The flow of his senses rides through the current of consciousness and takes over the corridors and the rooms. The subsidiary organ connection has been completed. The pirates are literally on his stomach now. The pirates noticed that the vines wriggled. A morph activated paralytic spores so the vines released black mist. It instantly affected the pirates. Their mouths foamed, killing them instantly. A morph can use the nest maneuver more fluently when he becomes a juvenile. He just tried it out of curiosity, but it worked. A morph felt dizzy because of the exhaustion. He suddenly felt hungry from using so much energy at once. Number 26 bounced towards him and asked where he's going. He invited him to eat since he's been so hungry. A few moments later, our MC grabbed the corpse. He tore the muscles apart by using his teeth. He noticed that it's likely for pirates to abandon their fellow mates. Not that A Morph minds it. It's actually better for him since he doesn't have to fight to eat. Number 26 kept munching too. 5 out of 7 he killed are cyborgs. He checked on how much he needed to evolve. He has 8 cyborgs now, so he only needs 2 more, and it won't be long until he evolves into a juvenile. The other 5 cyborgs had escaped. They went to the training room. He wondered why they went there of all places. He assumed that those pirates thought that they would have a clearer view and better shot angles, since the training room is more spacious than other rooms. The only problem is that the previous crew thought of the same thing. The place where they've been strengthening bonds with their comrades had long been turned into a slaughterhouse because of Amorph. Amorph could feel the pirates' pheromones and breaths through the door. The pirates must have been shocked at the sight of the room. He informed number 26 to get behind him since it will get dangerous. More than 20 people were killed in that place, and killing 5 more doesn't make any difference. Amorph dashed towards them. The pirates fired at him. It didn't have any effect on him. He approaches them. The pirate cursed that the guns weren't working against the monster. He decided to give up on it. He took out a lightsaber. The man intimidated the monster by telling it that he's the second in command of the Drava cartel. He swung his lightsaber while daring the monster to approach him. Amorph used his super sense and realized that it was a sonic blade. It could damage his shell. But he knew that the weapon doesn't matter when the one holding it doesn't know how to use it right. Amorph's subsidiary organ tells him that the man is an ordinary male in his 30s with lifestyle diseases. It's so typical of a pirate to act hastily. The man swung his sonic blade. But Amorph easily scratched him. The man crashed on the dumbbells, but Amorph didn't take a rest on pursuing the man. The man cursed at the monster. Amorph was astonished. The man is the first prey to be that persistent since Arnold. He decided to kill the man before that man experiences more pain. He stabbed it with his tail. Now, there are 4 left. He's guessing that they're hiding in the dressing room. The system window appeared. It made him curious. He had acquired human gene essence, so now he can claim human nature. He wondered what characteristic is that. The name sounds overly comprehensive, but he's not in a position to be picky. He wondered if he should accept it. Thousands of characteristics exist in space survival. However, not all of them are advantageous. For example, there are characteristics space survival itself is dystopian, full of visions. There's Star Union, who kidnaps people and turns them into robots. Then there's also Megaverse, who create monsters by remodeling genes however they like. In a universe where species like them lead human civilization, there's a way that would be a characteristic that gives human qualities. He thought about it. And if it's a characteristic that strengthens human emotions, it's a disadvantage to an Amorph that feeds on intelligence. The risk is too high, so he decided to decline. Suddenly, he felt something. His subsidiary organ warned him to reconsider. He realized that it could be valuable. He thought about it, but the tiny tentacles never forced him to make dangerous choices. He decided to trust it. He accepted. A bright light appeared. Then, that's it. Nothing happened. He checked his head, but nothing was coming out. He tried to feel it, but there's no extreme guilt in his heart. Human nature is immense. 3 more, and Amorph will be able to acquire superpower enhancement. Human nature would help Amorph make the right decision, and his choice would be worth it. He scratched his head as he commented that the characteristic was neither good nor bad. He decided to focus on the fact that he had accomplished. Number 26 approached him and asked if he's okay. He asked what was wrong. Number 26 told him that he wasn't moving and it was strange. Deep inside, inside, he knew that number 26 shouldn't worry about him. They get me. A morph could smell the pirates from different parts of the training room, and he had no intention of letting any of them go. In the sea of blood, people were screaming for help. One man held a gun. He was in the closet while wondering if he's going to be the next. Compared to the other guys, he considered himself pretty decent, so reasoned that he deserved to die. The creaking noise made him alert. As the sound continued, he could feel that his end was coming. He wished for Duhhlion to look over him. In his head, he begged this person which direction he should go. The man let out a sigh of relief when he heard footsteps going far away from where he was. He planned to run away once everything is over. He'll go to Star Union. He glanced at the small opening. At that moment, he was stabbed in the abdomen. Then, from the small hole of the closet door, the monster slid his fingers, and then pushed it open. The man was surprised. He saw those bloodied, razor-sharp teeth. He screamed loudly. Eventually, he was eaten. His machine parts fell to the ground. A morph munched on the body while thinking that no one could hide from him. A morph has finished 11 cyborgs. He just needed one more. But the problem is that the other one is in the control room. And the person he wants to avoid is in that room. The human with modified genes whom he assumes is from the Duhhlion family. He decided to take care of the leader first. Then his tiny tentacles made him sense something. A man fired at him while cursing. A morph was able to dodge. He scratched the ceiling. The boss was furious that his men got killed, even his second in command. A morph didn't expect the boss to find him first, but it's for the better. A Hulk mutant has many useful genes. A morph took this as a chance to replenish his gene essence before he moves on to the control room. He noticed that the temporary medical team leader was there. He didn't expect that the man would side with pirates. But it doesn't matter because the man would end up in Amorph's stomach anyway. He told number 26 to hide himself. Number 26 expressed that he's scared and that Amorph should be careful. Amorph replied that there's nothing to worry about. Number 26 attached himself to the wall. Then he camouflaged himself. He told Baby to be careful. Amorph observed the boss, and he's more intimidating than Amorph expected. The boss is bulky and over 3 meters tall. Some could say that Amorph didn't stand a chance, because the boss was an improved Hulk mutant. Amorph was excited to see what that man is capable of. The pirates in the control room watch on the screen. One person suggested going to where the boss is, but the others didn't like the idea of follow the. They asked Manol how much longer it would take. He replied that he would. The pirate asked why the piece of crap is taking so long. Manol explained that it's because of the AI of the Megacob battleship. It's the core of space engineering and computer science, so it can't be easy. The pirates don't understand a thing, she just said. They told her to just hurry up. In her mind, she commended Arnold for doing well. The monster cunningly hid itself using a smoke screen, but it can't fool her, who has her remote view. She noticed that the creature emptied the lab and got his hands on the gene samples. It was indeed a clever creature. According to the records, the creature only took the samples. That means that the creature knows how to use its skills. She wondered if the monster absorbs genes and evolves. If that's the case, the creature is like her. Because of that, she's certain that the boss named El Chen won't be able to. She described him as a miserable being who doesn't even know what he's made up of. She was getting fed up with him, so his end would be good news for her. The pirates are no longer of use to her. She decided to reduce the number of genes that the monster can use. They asked her if she had done, but they were confused with her behavior. Manol has several memories. She removed her eyeglasses. A blade appeared on her forearm. The enemies of Megacob call her the Helix Witch, but the family calls her Shadow and treats her with awe. The head of the family, Akira Yujin, calls her Code White, and the person who was once her father called her Si Yun. She is the epitome of genetic engineering of the Yujin family, and the only forgotten heir to the lineage in the family. Back to the impending fight, the boss took a step. He attacked the monster. A morph was able to evade that. A morph pushed him with his fingers, and his other limb hit the metal leg. The boss staggers as he groans. A morph's tentacle hit a capsule, and he sensed a static. His superpower organ strings were electrified. That's when he realized that the boss had laid out the pulse grenade without his knowledge. He wondered if the boss thinks he's some sort of a battle android. If that's the case, the boss was wrong. But his selection of weapons was the boss he asked the creature to understand. The boss moved a part of his thick hair. It revealed a red button embedded on his body. A morph wondered if it's the rampage switch. The boss said that he installed a bomb. He told the creature that if he dies, the whole ship will explode and everyone will die. A morph used his super sense to see this. The doctor's body reaction tells him that the boss isn't lying. A morph focused on the important thing, whether the boss would blow up the bomb or not. The boss noticed that the creature seemed to value his own life. He noticed that this creature had high intelligence, a transcendent body, and arrogance. So, he knew that there's nothing about the creature that would lower his will to survive. He pressed his blade on the button on the side of his head. His cells started moving. It became abnormal. It was like they were evolving like crazy. And that made the boss breathe and cough blood. His bones made a cracking sound. It looked like he turned into a delicious beast. Breathing heavily, then he growled loudly. Inside his head, Amorph finds the boss. It looked like more things had happened to him, and not just the transplantation of genes. The boss stomped, and it shattered the ground beneath him. Amorph recognized that he's got the genes of the mountain crawler. They're also called the dragons of the rocks because of their hard shells. The boss roared loudly. Then it moved fast. Amorph hit its chest with his tail, but he stopped the second he saw the bomb. And that's when Amorph took a blow. The boss waited, but he got confused when Amorph didn't. Amorph scurried forward. It made the boss angry. He was growling while Amorph maintained a safe distance from him. Amorph's body is throbbing. He could have been dead if not for his rock-hard head. It made him wonder why the boss brought up the bomb when he aimed for the head instead. He realized that the enemy was just playing dirty. The boss told Amorph that its attack is no use. Amorph knew that for the heart, there aren't many places he can aim for. The shells of the enemy are way too strong. Nothing should be able to break through that unless it's a plasma weapon. Amorph knew that he could win as long as he could stab the boss anywhere on his body, but it seems like the boss knew that, so he went after Amorph's tail. The enemy charged, but Amorph was confident since his tail isn't the only thing that's dangerous about him.
That's not good.
He dodged the attack. Then he leapt away while the enemy kept attacking him. Amorph can emit poison from his teeth and fingernails. He knew he would win if he broke the shell and attacked. It made him think on how he could get through that shell that the enemy is confident about. And that's when he grabbed the sonic blade. Hulk mutants have an inveterate weakness. Amorph knew that he had to hold out until that weakness came to surface. Cargo loss. And there's no better place than that to stall time. A loud rumbling sound echoed in the cargo area. The boss chased after Amorph. He struck him several times, but he didn't bite. The cockroaches in the area scurried away. One of those cockroaches got stabbed by Amorph's tail. Amorph ate it while thinking that he had no chance against the boss's monstrous strength. Hulk mutants are quick and strong, but they use up energy fast. That's why he has to take a short break in the middle. If he continues to provoke him into using his energy, he expects the Hulk mutant's body to stop attacking whether he likes it or not. There's only one option, and that is to wait. Amorph kept himself hidden while waiting for the chance that would come soon. Amorph remembered that the guy has two hearts. He wondered which one was connected to the detonator. Amorph knew that Hulk mutants have a main heart on the left side. So, it's very likely that he connected the detonator there. However, Amorph recognized that the boss was a clever one, so he couldn't be certain on where it would be located. To his surprise, the Hulk mutant had located it. Amorph ran away quickly. But the guy chased him, and even called him a coward. The Hulk mutant's body lets out a steam. Then he was panting. Amorph noticed that. He assumed that the Hulk mutant had reduced his weakness as he was being enhanced. Normally, he would have stopped moving by now. But nothing has changed except for his speed. It looked like he couldn't completely get rid of the break time. Amorph took the chance and jumped in on the Hulk mutant from behind. The Hulk mutant grabbed a slab of stone, on Amorph's way. Amorph leapt around to evade the attack, then he landed on the ground. Hulk roared loudly, and he smashed Amorph right on the head. Amorph grits his teeth as he endures it. He eventually found his chance, and he hit the Hulk mutant with his secret weapon, and it cracked the guy's bones. Amorph followed the attack with a bite. With that, he injected poison to the Hulk mutant. This ugly-ass mutant then screamed as he received the unexpected attack. The Hulk mutant got angry and threw Amorph towards the wall. The Hulk mutant was about to punch Amorph, but then he staggered. Amorph grinned. The Hulk mutant couldn't believe that his body started trembling. His legs were wobbly. He lost his balance and fell on the ground. Amorph noticed that the paralysis effect is not as effective as it would be on humans. He expected the poison to have spread on the body now. The Hulk mutant asked for help, but Amorph mercilessly stabbed him in the throat with his sharp tail. Then he started ripping out the ugly ass's flesh. Eventually, he found what he was looking for. The detonator was attached to his second heart on the right. The timer starts when it's struck with force. The second heart limits the side effects of genetic manipulation. It made Amorph wonder if the guy was trying to take him down with him, knowing that he would die anyway if the detonator got damaged. It's going to take some time to disassemble the detonator, and as a reward for himself, he decided to enjoy the Hulk mutant's genetic sample. Then number 26 calls him. He reminded him to stay hidden. Number 26 reported that they're in trouble. Amorph asked why. Suddenly, the signal paused. Amorph saw it. To stay right here, he'll receive a fire attack that will kill number 26 as well. For a brief moment, he was frozen in shock. When he regained his senses, he dashed away. He immediately grabbed number 26. At that moment, a fire broke out from the ground. Si-Hyun stepped forward and saw that the monster got away. She was curious how the monster got the prediction. Amorph planned to deal with her last, and he didn't expect her to come there herself. He noticed the shiny blade protruding from her hand. Her genes are mixed with those of the white Galurgon and another high-level organism. Not only that, there are dozens of visible genetic traits. Amorph knew that he couldn't beat her in his current state. He felt his body warning him not to confront that creature. He needed to step back and reorganize. The Hulk recognized Manol and called her. She told him that he did well and stabbed him. Her sword pierced through the detonator. She couldn't let the space monster escape. Amorph was in a pinch. He thought of what to do next. The timer on the bomb should have been activated with her stabbing the Hulk mutant. Amorph knew that it would be suicide if he attacked her now. He decided to observe the enemy and get information. He noticed that her eyes are different. He wondered if those are the eyes of the Outspace Observer or maybe Daredevils. Si-Hyun told him that she has a suggestion. Because he seems to be like her, she plans to spare his life if he agrees. In other words, she wants Amorph to become her pet. She knows that he's a creature that relies on genes, so she's certain that she can be the perfect master for him. She urged him to join her. Amorph tried to stop her. The formidable Si-Hyun Yujin is demanding him to be her slave. A gust of wind blew. Amorph has confirmed that Si-Hyun is blind. Well, not that she has reason. He's also aware that the blade on her wrist is the claw of the Galurgon, and that even with charged he won't be able to protect himself from that.
Double kill.
Plus, she also got plenty of other weapons. Amorph knew that submitting to her was the most difficult. Si-Hyun grinned. Amorph walked towards her. She told him that he's making the right choice. Number 26 pats Amorph, while assuring him that she's right by his side. Amorph was thinking how Si-Hyun had no idea why he liked Amorph. She doesn't know that he's so obsessed with the crappy on online communities. The reason is simple. It's because of the freedom to choose. Because with the choices that he makes, it grows stronger and industrious. That's why he loves Amorph. That is why there is only one choice for him. With just a step away from Si-Hyun, Amorph stopped above the bounds. Number 26 is active. All praise to Immediately, scurried away. Though Hugh's eyes remained shut. He was furious that the device got destroyed. It will be all over for him to take it to the engine room in 10 minutes. But his strong he called his way to the while thinking of different Meanwhile, Amorph is trying to run for his life. Number 26 asked Amorph if he's in pain. Amorph replied that it's all better. Number 26 asked, "Really?" Amorph pats him and replies yes. Amorph knew that Sihyun's daredevil eyes have X-ray vision, so a surprise attack won't work. And even if he hides, and he's certain that he also has other Amorph knew that he's worked out. He expected Sihyun to realize by then that he's worried about him. He'll probably expect that he will try to escape using the escape pod. He assumes that he will lock him in. Standard tactics. It was like she's using the same tactics. It's like fighting with another game player. Now he decided to bomb. As for the information that he doesn't know, it will just surface once he faces it. The problem is that his attack and defense abilities are much lower than he expected. Amorph kept thinking of some other thing. Then he thought of something. The item in the lab. Because of that, he might just be able to turn the tables around. It was the Psionium. Once taken, Amorph could use the ability of juvenile model for a limited time. The technique Psionium uses is called distortion. Amorph has zero tolerance. So when he evolves into a juvenile, be able to launch a long-range attack. The only downside is that it requires a lot of energy. Amorph knew that he had to save time. He has no time to worry about energy. He said number 26 to wait for him. Number 26 asked him where he's going. He replied that he needs to get something. He looked around the shelf. In the game, the buff knows it made him wonder what it's like in real life. He'll find that out himself. Surprisingly, number 26 immediately stopped him. He asked him what's wrong. Number 26 stayed silent for a moment. Number 26 was wiggly from anxiety. Amorph wondered why it's acting like that. In normal circumstances, he would wait for him to answer. But Amorph is running out of time now. He drank the liquid from the container. Right after that, his heart pounded loudly. He feels like his whole body is on fire. His bones are cracking and his veins are popping out. His body broke through from its old strength. Major transformation is happening in his muscles. He screamed loudly because it was so painful. But he knew he couldn't pass out. The evolution kept going until his eyes opened, and his whole body was larger and stronger. He has large horns. Meanwhile, number 26 bounced with joy. He's impressed that baby got big again. Amorph's evolution worked. He took out his screen. It states there that he's temporarily a juvenile. He also noticed some changes. The reinforced exoskeleton has been upgraded to a monster skeleton. He has magnificent horns on top of his head. He creates a brand new isn't a long time. He decided to settle the match as quickly as possible. when she saw something wriggle at the ceiling. Then it burst, flashing her with acid. Her body sizzled. She countered it with her fire, making a portion of the ship explode. It created a loud rumbling sound. A morph had sensed that Si-hyun was coming. He grabbed number 26 and told him to hold on tight since they will be running. A morph started running as fast as he could. He assumed that Si-hyun destroyed the sword with one blow. He planned to lure her to the spot where the nuclear reactor is. He knew that Si-hyun wouldn't be able to fight at full strength. Even the slightest touch or wave will cause an explosion. It doesn't matter how many genes Si-hyun has, it's impossible to survive a nuclear explosion. A morph is almost there, just one more second. But he halts, and that was because of one thing. Si-hyun had just blocked his way. He prepared for combat. A morph threw number 26. Si-hyun released several waves of fire using her sword. A morph was hit. He Si-hyun tilted her head in confusion. A morph's easily allowed crack. He charged towards her. Si-hyun was excited. He slashed him with his sword. A morph was hurt. Si-hyun noticed that a morph became faster than him. She was about to kick him, but he was a morph attacked her with his arm. Si-hyun looked like she was enjoying it. She told a morph that his attack was enough. A morph wrapped his limb around her, while holding on to her. At the very last second, Si-hyun reacted. She moved her arm to deflect it. It chopped off a part of her limb. It told him that he's not dead. Since he was able to she unleashed a pink aura around her, and a morph loosened the grip on her waist. He was surprised to see her red hair. In a split second, his tail was slashed, and the tip was completely severed from his body. He was in pain. Si-hyun noticed that he created distance between them. She figured out that Amorph must have known about red mist. In his head, Amorph admitted that she isn't an easy opponent. Red mist is a predator that lives on a jungle-type planet. Its manes emit a menacing pheromone that causes hallucinations. If she has the hallucinating skills for red mist as well, then Amorph knew that panic was necessary. He needed to stay calm and wait for his chance. He charged forward, and that made Then Amorph slashed her arm off. While Amorph watched. She deflected those spikes with her sword. Amorph had observed her and finally figured out what was wrong with her. She certainly has those of the players, but unlike them, she has a critical weakness. And that is, she can't use two abilities at once. Si-hyun grits her teeth. She told him that he's getting on her side. Because of that, Amorph has to know how long it takes her to switch up her powers. He's certain that there's a gap no matter how fast she does it. He was looking for the moment when she becomes defenseless and normal. Once he has that, Amorph plans to make changes in his strategy. He charged forward, with the intention to corner her. Meanwhile, number 26 narrates the story of a slime opening her eyes to a cold and heavy world. Some intelligent being called it seabed, and that was her home. It was a harsh environment with low temperatures and high pressure. However, she didn't think it was all that bad. There were others who protected her. The slimes were weak, and they always had to fear for their lives. When the slime realized that she had special powers, her own kind from predators. After some time, she became the head of the pack. But her life was sharing food and sleeping unbearable exhaustion. After years and years, the head of the pack, who hadn't been able to fulfill her duties, woke up. She found herself in a reeking liquid prison. In there, she watched the miserable deaths of those who should have been protected. Number 26. There was no one else of her kind left in prison. At the bottom of hell, she prayed and prayed for someone or anyone to come and help her. If they do, she would sacrifice the rest of her life to protect others. Back to the present time, the only one who helped number 26 was our MC. And right now, he's in deep trouble. Duhhlion yelled that he's getting sick of their fight. Amorph runs away while shooting spikes at her. He's infuriated with his petty tricks. Suddenly, Amorph used a sharp limb to attack her. Duhhlion barely evaded her. She cut off the tip, and the acid coming from the severed part splattered on her. Amorph grabbed her and blocked it by punching. Amorph expected her to have some kind of defense skills, but he had no idea. She told him by saying that a pet that bites the hand of the owner needs to be taught. Amorph felt the pain from her hits, but she needs to be better than that. But Amorph might have his chance. He slammed him on the wall. She glared at him. So human mid-flesh, her body blazed from her arm. Amorph, knowing this, but Duhhlion docked and teased him that he just missed her. But she noticed her laugh. Amorph looked at her intimidatingly. He didn't miss. From the start, his target isn't Duhhlion. Amorph's partner cut a hole under the wall and opened the spaceship towards the vast space. Duhhlion used her blade to taper her on the ground. When she turned around, she panicked. She saw that the monster was already behind her. Amorph was waiting for that moment. Duhhlion was desperate since she didn't want to die there. Her veins popped out from her arms. She's forcing herself to activate two skills at the same time. She's pushing her limit on the verge of death. Her color starts to change to a lighter color. Amorph decided to take her down before it's too late. He shot bullets that were deflected by her skin. Duhhlion grinned. To their surprise, number 26 joined while telling her to leave the baby alone. Number 26 electrified her face. She yelled, "What the fuck?" Then a loud boom echoed in the ship. Duhhlyon's left eye was blasted and a hole was left on her head. Then she was shot again. Number 26 jumped off her while asking help from Amorph. Amorph was able to catch her on time. Despite her injuries, Duhhlion refuses to give up. Amorph grabbed her torso and he slammed her on the wall. He advised number 26 not to let go of him. Amorph thought about the psychic energy that just came out of the tentacle, but he decided to put that aside. His priority for now is to get out of the place. Amorph dragged her body. He was already panting, but he continued. This just proved that he had really won the fight against Duhhlion. The environmental maintenance system isn't even working with the hole in the ship. If there was someone around, they would have fixed it or manually shielded the damaged area and stabilize it. But there's barely anyone on the ship except pirates. And he's certain that they don't know what's going on since they're busy hiding from him. He knows that the ship is done for. At that moment, it rumbled loudly. Number 26 asked what was wrong with his arm. His skin crumbles. The effect of psionium and the transformation is wearing off. Amorph was relieved that it didn't hurt to return to his original form. He was hoping it would last longer. But still, he gained something more important than that. In the game, Megacob rankers have an average of over 1,000 genes. All of them are genes from rare creatures that are hard to come by. Duhhlion is an NPC at the level of a high-level player. Still, she should have a good number of genes. Amorph expected that just like when he took the samples, he'll probably get around 3 at most. He doesn't care if he gets only 1, but he hopes that it will be the Claw of Galargon. He'll find out. He opened his mouth wide to eat Duhhlion, but before he could take a bite, he saw a vision. This showed that upon him eating his meal, a huge explosion will happen and they will be all caught up by it. It startled him. Then he remembered the bomb on the ship. According to his predator senses, there are only about 5 minutes left. That's not enough time to defuse a bomb. He knew that he needed to abandon the ship and get to the escape pod as fast as he could, but it takes at least 5 minutes to pass the hull to the runway. He will never make it on time. The only way he can make it there as quickly as possible is this thing right in front of them, the plasma gun. A morph immediately grabbed it. Number 26 commented how sparkly it is. A morph charged the plasma and set it to maximum power. It moved from 30% to 70%, then 100%. A morph pointed the gun upwards and it created holes on several floors. It slowly dies down. A morph instructed number 26 to hold on tight. Then he took a big jump. Our boy just created a freaking shortcut. He went through the hole. Then a rope-like skeleton came out from his hand and tied it to the ship. He was dangling in the vast space. He moved so he could get on the ship again. This was just like watching Spider-Man making his way to his neighborhood. He eventually landed, and they're not far away from the runway now. He used his rope-like limbs for mobility. He charged the gun again and shot it to create an entrance towards the inside of the ship. Then he threw away the gun with gratitude. Number 26 expressed that what they're doing is fun. A morph noticed that one of the escape pods was open. He wondered if someone was trying to get on it. But that's good news for him, since it saves him from the trouble of having to break one open. He instructed number 26 to hold on anything that it can grab on. Meanwhile, Drava staggers as he makes his way. He really thought he was going to die back then. He was breathing heavily while struggling to see. His senses are back, but he had problems with his eye. With one of Heart's ripped out, his body is a mess. He nearly detonated the bomb in the middle of disarming it. He vowed not to let those monsters get away. He reset the bomb to explode 10 minutes later. By the time he escaped the ship, those monsters would have turned into ashes from the explosion. He noticed that it's quiet. He wondered if one of them died, but whoever is left is still at risk for his life. He stopped on his tracks when a man appeared in front of him. The man was also shocked to see the pirate. Drava scanned him, and from his uniform, he was able to deduce that this man is Yusung Samuel. He looks different from what the monster manual.
Pokemon. It used to be a reasonable sequence where it was like, okay, this squirrel, this turtle becomes a bigger turtle.
Well, Vaporeon, you really had to go out of your way to make that weird, right?
That took a lot of thought.
But like Gardevoir, not as.
I fight for a brighter tomorrow.
Two go-to methods, two tried and true strategies that studios will employ when they need some quick cash grabs. The first and most common, thanks to Disney, is live-action remakes of beloved animated films. And now we're seeing this scourge leak elsewhere with How to Train Your Dragon now getting a live-action remake. Like, How to Train Your Dragon doesn't even have the courtesy of being a reimagining of the animation that it's based on. It seems to be a one-for-one, shot-for-shot remake, but with some live-action actors and CGI. So it's still animation in a lot of places, just a different kind. Why even fucking bother? I know like people for some reason just pull money out their ass to go see it. I'm not gonna keep ranting.
30 seconds.
The other strategy
Minions
Hollywood likes to
spawn.
employ when they're in desperate need of quick cash is making an unnecessary sequel to a beloved film a decade or 2 decades
I
ago,
will light our path.
which is what Gladiator 2 is. From the time the first trailer dropped, I didn't have a whole lot of hope for this film because why the fuck are you making a Gladiator 2 sequel 24 years later? The first Gladiator was an incredible film that was a complete package that doesn't really have any need for a sequel. And most of the
Minions
time
have
when studios
spawned.
try this, where they make
Powering
this
up.
sequel so many years later, they're trash. Absolute dog shit. And the trailer didn't, like, sell me on this being great or anything, but people did. When the reviews started coming out and my chat was talking about Gladiator 2, they were all saying that it's, like, really solid and they did a super good job. So I decided to go see it today,
I'm
you know,
always
smoke them
ready.
if you got them. So I burnt rubber getting to the theater to plop my ass in the front row seat, unfortunately, because that was the only seats available for the matinee. So I sat there with some neck pain staring up at the screen like a baby bird waiting to be fed. And overall, I thought the film was solid. I was entertained for the most part. But I still believe this was just a pretty unnecessary sequel that just served to be a quick cash to the studio because everyone was Gladiator 1, so it was guaranteed to get a lot of peepers on it. In a lot of ways, Gladiator 2 just kind of retells similar story beats from Gladiator 1, but does it worse, like a diet version instead of Gladiator 1's best hit. A lot of the story beats that were done really well in the first movie were great value Fortnite stories. And that's a little harsh because it's not like they're horrible, like they don't fall flat, you know, it's not like a complete series. But it's just hard to watch this and not compare it to the first one and how much better it was in those aspects. So it does have very similar
Without
stories. Now, it's not a one-to-one card. Some of them are not. I'll go ahead and start with the things I like. Visually, I think the film is strong. The visual class for the most part. I know a lot of people pointed out like aren't time period accurate. I don't like that. I don't really give a fuck. That didn't like my immersion. I think for the most part they committed to going over the top right, and they did a good job with what they delivered on it. The action. And I do think the main character, Lucius, was very considering the big shoes to fill with the first film. I think it's a great performance here that unfortunately gets by some really odd writing. I can't even call it like dumpster tier because it's not like fucking there's just some really confusing things that only serve to explain what I mean. I'll go ahead and give you like bare bones. Sends him away to keep him safe after the death of Maximus. Years later, the general of the Roman army leads a charge against the place where Lucius is at. Washington's character as a gladiator. Now, when the general took control of the area Lucius was at, he directly ordered one of the archers to be killed. That archer was the one that Lucius. So this makes him his general. He already had a deep history in Rome, and now he is a gladiator. Super straightforward. He does this for 90% of the film until all of a sudden he doesn't. So, and then there's a moment where for what happened to one of the emperor's too. He shot a crossbow at also doesn't like anything about Rome, doesn't like the general. The general then reveals to him like a little bit more. They immediately like share kind of a heart to heart, and Lucius now all of a sudden, you know, loves and appreciates the general, and now is willing to die for Rome. Now all of a sudden, take everything yells at her, get the fuck out, like, he hates his mother. Actual, like, super tantrum, it's not a phase mom type energy, and then only, like, 5 months later, he loves his mother and wants to do everything he can. So all these are, like, but it happens so quick, like, so abruptly that it feels like he just impulsively like latches onto something and is more than willing to just like instantly. It makes sense narratively how he gets there, but it just happens too quickly in the movie. They don't build up to it. It just kind of happens. And I do think that there is writing around the character that just doesn't work. Like Lucius and the actor do a really good job of making him badass. He is a capable fighter, he's a good leader, and it's not like there's anything in there that just feels like an asshole. I do think all of it feels impossible. It just happens so quickly, and there's times where the writing just kind of matures it. But in the time where the general is no longer that army by sending a ring saying, "Hey, I'm Lucius." No one's ever met him, by the way. No one even knew he was alive. No one even knows who the fuck he is, but he delivers a ring. The army knows that they were gonna follow this mysterious guy. That's a bit of a leap, and it's not necessarily like Lucius is fault. It's just kind of writing, in my opinion. Like it's cool, but there has to be another way. Where it gets is cool, but it gets there in ways that I don't like. But anyway, I think for the most part, like the film is fine, but there are two characters I thought the brother and sister were just became reminded you that this is a movie. It felt like you were watching Festive Fruit drawn from monologues where they just go so big and so silly with it. Like, for example, I really like Joseph Quinn. He was one of the brother emperors here, and I just do not think it. I'm spoil too many things here. You know, thumbs up, thumbs down. So he's like, he actually goes in. What the fuck? Especially when you compare it to how great Gladiator 1 is. To have two brother emperors come here and do that kind of and the other brother they were just but Joseph Quinn's brother, the other emperor, I'm pretty sure every scene he's in, he is screaming. Like, he is yelling in pretty much every scene he's in, or he's, like, doing cartoon like, I'm just violent! War! Let them eat war! Let them eat war! And it's just so dumb. Like, I don't think it fit at all. I can recognize that was the goal of the characters, to be pretty unserious and silly and not take them too seriously, because there is a bigger villain behind the scenes, not getting into spoilers, but come on. There had to be some kind of middle ground to reach. Because right now, I just think those two characters kill this film's momentum pretty often and take it out of its sails. Because you'll have like a good scene that happens, and then an emperor will come through. Remarkable, remarkable, glorious, absolutely magnificent, good sir. I must have your name. What is your name? Give me your name. Every scene they are in, they are evil for the sake of evil. They don't even have real motivation at all. They are so wonderful. Like, they don't, like, they're not characters. They're characters. Like, it is a movie that has a lot of characters. So maybe it's just given a whole ton to do, unfortunately. Like, I thought he was going to be a much bigger character in this movie, but he's kind of not. But he does a good job balancing, like, the guy in the characters are assholes, like, not really but also still has a duty to them. Not good. Like, the character will come up with these great plans, and then all of a sudden decide, you know what, I think I'm just going to engage in fisticuffs here against someone that is clearly one of the best fighters Rome has ever seen. I'll go ahead and fight him, even though I have not been a fighter this entire movie. And you're like scratching your head like, what? Why would you do that? Like, your whole thing is like, plans. Fight a guy you have sometimes Macron is great, sometimes he's making a character that pushes everything forward and he is a character that slowly gathers crafting these elaborate plans, manipulating, but he's just a cunning individual who is clearly working towards the big goals, and it's cool, but I also feel like that character just gets lucky. And that's like super accurate. You know, those kind of like there's a lot armor where things just kind of work out. You couldn't possibly have known or had no control. But I do like really, there's like this is a big Lucius to fight the general, the promise they made at the beginning where Lucius would, you know, do his best for Macrinus while Macrinus delivers the general's head. The way that he eventually took those was entirely by just happenstance, because the general was working on a project that one of the people at the facility just happened to overhear, relay to one guy that happens to be indebted to Macrinus, who just happens to be like really easy to squeeze information out of. So he hears it, and then it's like, oh, okay, I'll just go ahead and turn him in. And that's
Turret plating.
Delivered on that deal of the general and Lucius fight, but it worked out. It's still cool to see it work out for him because movie, like the plans that he creates, they're gonna come to fruition. It's just I would have liked if his plans were actually because of his like, and some of them are. Like towards the end, him gaining power, he had no good plan for overall. Until eventually his plan was as simple as it gets. Just kill, now I'm in charge. Like that's a pretty simple plan. That's not like a galaxy brain. But overall, I didn't regret What kind of beloved property we have in the back burner in the toy box collecting dust? Gladiator? Yeah, let's make a sequel for it. Let me just work back. It was never going to be amazing. It was always just, we need a sequel to something beloved, so they did this. Which isn't the worst thing in the world, I suppose, because at least it's enjoyable. A lot of these sequels that come out so many years later. This one is still a fun sequel. It's just, it copies a lot of the homework from the first Gladiator. So, I mean, if you just want the Gladiator stuff, though, this shit's gonna be anyway, though, that's really about it.
Without fear. future will be bright.
Your turret has been destroyed. Your turret has been destroyed.
Pave the way. I will light our path.
Enemy killing spree. Your turret has been destroyed.
Powering up.
Nobody wants to go up against this guy, I guess. Okay.
I'm always ready.
An ally has been slain.
Never look back.
An enemy has been slain.
Without fear. Time to make a stand. Eyes on the horizon. scout path. Powering up. I'm always
Ally has been slain.
without fear.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Make a stand.
An ally has been slain.
be bright.
inhibitor is respawning soon.
Never a wrong
The enemy's inhibitor is respawning soon.
Powering up.
Not much I can do.
Never a wrong step.
The enemy's inhibitor is respawning soon. The enemy's inhibitor has respawned.
Time to make a stand.
All right, into the clips. The best save for the noobs. It is a tie between 3 people, essentially, but all 3 of them are Taran. There are 2 clips to go through. Clip number 1, Snuppy and E-Rob.
E-Rob? E-Rob is here, man. Oh, shoot. Careful, careful, careful.
Snoopy, whatever. He's probably...
help me, help me, help me. Oh! Oh, shoot. That's my brother!
I don't know what he did here, but he changed.
He saved him! Oh. Wait, my frames. I can't. My bar. Oh, shoot. It got messed up. My frames got messed up, actually. Yo, oh, he saved him! No, he's helped me. He's helped me. Yo, thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. Oh, my God. Yo, sorry about that. Yo. I don't know where the... Okay, wait. I'm still dying. Oh, my God. Yo,
And that's it. Not the craziest, but still funny. And the Tyler 1, leaving the call to leave in LBRS.
Okay, Reminder, I understand that the dog's, the pet in that pole, it got aggro. I apologize to her after, by the way. Just so we're all clear. Okay? But that's me. Watch it, listen. Run. After the pet thing. I apologize to her after. I blamed her before, but whatever. It's actually really bad.
I'm sorry.
Oh, and there's a path.
Gotta
Alright,
run,
we
guys.
want to start dumbing out, you know?
You guys, you have to run.
You have to go to the right. Go to the right. Do not pull these ogres.
That was it. It was a call to leave.
That's W?
They might have been cool or safe, but regardless.
No, we did it. We had no AoE. That's deadly. I think this.
All right, the worst death of the week towards the sweats, the pros, goes to Base Trade.
This too.
What a dumbass.
Alright, I'm so stuffed. Why did
You're an idiot.
Ew.
I just
They got it.
real bad.
Looks like Hunter.
I might actually be dead. This sucks.
Where's Shadow Priest dying?
I fell down.
What? Mr. Base Trade?
Hello?
I'm trying to get to spot where I can glitch out.
He fell.
You fell.
He's toast.
I'm actually
Where is he?
gonna
Where
die.
is
Where did he go?
I'm actually.
Where's Base Trade?
Where the f is Base Trade? I'm actually.
Map right there.
God damn it.
What?
He's dead.
Based?
It
Mr.
put me through
What just
ground,
happened?
man.
Hey,
I gotta
kill
go
everything
first.
quick.
Unfortunate.
Sorry, dude.
All right, the worst death for the noobs
Don't need your condolences. Just send me your greens.
goes to Judd, killing Summit and over the whole group. I think Judd ended up killing his own character in shame, his level 60 character, but regardless, that doesn't make this clip any better.
It is a dog. What a dumbass.
Guard pulled in.
Pick it up.
Unfortunate.
Something huge. We need to run. We need to know.
I'm
Bad. Dummy.
I dummy. Keep running.
I have another one.
Are you serious, bro?
What happened?
But big shout out to Summit for turning on his camera after dying and showing this.
True.
Can I pull or?
I'm gonna be pulling.
Okay.
Ew. Let's see.
I'm afraid to send Pet in.
Don't worry, it's
Can you
me.
counterspell? Yeah, Mr. Bosch.
Say again?
Counterspell the backpedal. Okay, we learned.
What is this?
All good.
You're looking at gaming, baby. Peak gaming.
That's serious gaming.
Oh
He's locked in. That's our leader in like 3 weeks, baby.
Yo, WoW players, are you really yapping?
We're all gonna
By the way, are you like saying it for content?
We're impressed. You picked it up quick, baby. You picked it up quick.
We're all dead. We have no chance.
You guys are surely memeing. Please, I'm eating cookies. Don't get me started.
Kind of cookie.
Chips Ahoy.
You earned it, bro. After that tanking, you earned it.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know,
who's
man.
yapping? Who is this guy that's yapping?
That was one clip. They only have one.
What kind of cookie is it?
No, speak up, boys. Who's yapping?
Oh, don't act like you don't know the bunkai. Come on, bro.
Bunk? I know.
Yeah, you know, you said it pretty clearly. You said like you knew it exactly what it was, baby.
Starts
Come on.
with an S. You
slain. Your team has destroyed the turret.
I will push them back. Alone, I must. Predators become prey as quickly as night becomes day. I am the vanguard. Survival is just the beginning. Anyone can wield a weapon. Warriors their own.
Has been slain.
Roar with every step. Ascended warlords, monsters. They are not so.
An enemy has been slain. Destroyed
Sometimes a warden must become a warrior. If Tope were here, he'd probably...
Has destroyed.
Dude's crazy tanky.
Enemy killing spree.
To walk my own path. The desert was my mentor. Every scar, a lesson.
respawn.
Those who don't respect me will learn today. No monster greater than pride.
That'll suck.
30 seconds until minions spawn. Minions has spawned.
Who wants a piece of this? Now we're cooking. All right, I'm going. Baby, kill me now. To a yordle.
First blood.
Reptile. You don't have to tell me twice. Who wants a piece of this? Now we're cooking. This is gonna be bumpy. steady. Who wants a piece of this? You don't have to tell me twice.
Enemy killing spree.
Who you calling little?
Turret plating will soon fall.
Ever look up to a yordle? Time for a Vandal Siege. Cooking.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
look up to a yordle?
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Interesting. Interesting.
Unstoppable.
All right, I'm going. Now we're cooking.
Dominating. Double kill.
Who you call? Hold her steady. You don't have to tell me twice. Ever look up to a yordle?
Unstoppable. Enemy killing spree. An ally has been slain.
Who wants a piece of this?
has been slain. Your team has destroyed a turret.
For a Vandal City to get.
An enemy has been slain.
That's good.
Who you calling little?
Ally has been slain.
You don't have to tell me twice. Up to Lord.
Oh yeah.